Hey everybody, welcome back to HitPoint, a JRPG news show, an anime news show, a niche news show, a show where Baku and I talk about anything and everything that catches our interest and or ire. We stream live every single Sunday. Never do we miss a single one, every single Sunday, regardless of how up to it I'm feeling. Every single Sunday at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, we'll be previewing some trailers, talking a lot about some industry news. We'll be maybe talking about some rumors and stuff, and we will also be responding to some super chats towards the end of the show.
That's right.
If you're new here, welcome. It is good to have you. Baku, how are you doing, man?
I am doing great. I am 2 weeks away from graduating officially with
my goodness
degree in PhD in waifu studies.
Oh man,
everyone knows.
we're gonna need to come up with a new title, a new handle for you instead of Weeb Sauce or Baku-san. God, what would we call you?
I want everyone to call me Dr. Baku. Yeah, Baku-san. For at least a week. Just call me, humor me, call me a doctor for a week, and then we can go back. I deserve it.
I do feel like Dr. Baku has sort of this, like, it rolls off the tongue.
Dr. Baku, you think so?
Daku Baku.
Daku Baku.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll put it to a vote. We'll see.
All right.
You want to call me. just for like a week. Yeah.
All right. Well, sure. We'll see what happens, you know.
Also, I've been playing some Expedition 33, which we'll touch on later in the show.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. Ooh, man, that's
been making some waves. I'm kind of feeling like an odd man out, like sitting on the outside of this thing. Right. Like JRPGs are like my thing. They're my jam right now, right? But meanwhile, like, here's the big, like, JRPG of the year out of nowhere, and just like, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
Shaking my head. How are you doing, sir? What have you been up to?
Honestly, not a whole heck of a lot, and I feel kind of terrible saying that, but I mean, I've just been kind of relaxing a little bit lately, and that has been nice. Amy and I just celebrated our anniversary. I was about to say our 17-year anniversary, but then I was like, if I said 17 years married, people would probably be like, you don't look like you've been old enough to be married to anyone for nearly that. No, but it's true. Yeah, high school sweethearts.
Is that why you're growing out your facial hair, just to like age
to show the passage of time has occurred? Yes. Otherwise, I still look like I did, the day I graduated.
Baby face. You know what? Let me share something, because this is 100% applicable. Yesterday, I just had a adult lunchable themed like party where we brought like cold cuts, like deli meat, and we had like crackers and stuff, and then we had Capri Sun, and it was great. It's basically just lunchable, but like adult version. And everyone there were just about our age, right? Like just about our age, like you and I.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about how the newer generation just looks so much older. We're like, what's going on? Like, why does our generation, like, I feel like we age pretty well.
I think. So I feel like here's something that has skipped a generation, and that is nicotine intake. I think is like a huge factor. Like, because like smoking was like at an all-time low for a long time. For our generation, a lot of us just don't smoke, and then vaping became a thing. Like right after, and I'm like, I was right at the age where like I saw people vaping. I'm like, that just seems stupid. I mean. Sorry to any people who vape out there. Nothing personal. It just seems like, just like, I mean, it's money going literally up in smoke. Like, I don't even light up fireworks on 4th of July anymore because it's literally just lighting money on fire.
Oh man, that's what my mother used to say to me.
But it's true. It matters more when it's your money. When I was a kid, I didn't give a crap about that because it wasn't money I was getting anyway.
That's true.
but anyways, like, so here we have like this generation of our age of people, which is to say mid 30s, late 30s. Anyways, a lot of us just don't smoke. But then this new generation comes along and they're like, hey, I'm good with just, ingesting all kinds of, aerosolized chemicals straight into my blood or, into my lungs. And I don't think they're injecting it just yet. But I think that nicotine actually does play a huge role in aging people.
So my friends that I had an alternative hypothesis, and that is the generation after us likes to go outside a lot. But they don't
that might be it too.
Yeah,
I mean, the sun definitely ages one.
Yeah, they don't like using any kind of protective lotion, right? So
what?
They don't like using sunblocks apparently. So we think that UV damage. Is
I haven't got much of a choice in the matter. If I don't wear sunscreen, I blister. Like I'm bad.
Oh my god!
I mean, not literally, but I am. I feel like on the precipice. I mean, I've got that.
Really bad sunburn.
I'm very light complected. I got the freckles, just not the red hair to go with it. That's anyways. So that is a little bit off topic of what we're normally going to be talking about. So how about we actually start the show in earnest now that we've...
Oh, geez. No one's here for the show, Derek. They just want to hear us getting sunburn. But all right, if you insist, let's talk about delays.
Oh,
I know. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just letting you know what's going on. The game that we're going to be talking about is.
I'm sorry, Baku. I've got to do this.
Oh no!
Okay, you can. Okay, go ahead. Proceed.
Oh, wrong side. I should be waiting this way. The most professional podcast on YouTube.
Absolutely right.
All right. The first game we're going to talk about for game delays is not Lost Soul Aside. The game will be delayed by 3 months to August 29th. From the CEO of the development studio, here's a short message from them. Dear fans, we're grateful for the positive response we received players all over the world since we announced Lost Soul Aside. We remain committed to delivering high-quality game experience to match the standards of Ulti-Zero games have set for ourselves. We're going to take some additional time to polish the game. Lost Soul Aside will now release on August 29th, 2025. We want to express our heartfelt thanks to our fans waiting for the launch.
Yeah, that's not so bad.
Deal. Yeah, no big deal. 3 months. Yeah. It'll fly right by. So
it just like Einstein once said, a delayed game is eventually good, but a bad
Einstein
game that is really
say that.
He did say that.
I remember. I was there when Einstein said it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that is unfortunate. Well, fortunately though, that is the last delay that we have to talk about.
That's about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Let's go ahead and switch over to where's the button? Delays. No.
New game announcement.
That's the one. There's the button. I'm a little bit out of practice here. Yeah. Despite the fact that I do this every single week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that we do this every single Sunday, I'm a little bit out of practice. But here's a new game. Developer Sting have just announced a new board game style RPG called Viractal. Viractal? Yes.
I think it's Viractal.
Viractal. Okay.
Viractal.
Well, that is a name
choice.
The game features a blend of of card battles. Sorry, I'm wearing glasses today and my eyes just aren't right. The game features a blend of card battles and board game strategy. You can play either single player or with friends through online multiplayer, and we have a trailer to go with it. So let's check that out.
Yes.
That didn't work. The most professional stream on all of YouTube. Let's try that again.
Come on, Derek, get it together.
There we go.
There we go.
Oh, I kind of dig that aesthetic, honestly.
You right?
What exactly is this?
Yeah, you have to roll the dice.
Okay.
Game board, and then there
sure.
are different scenarios. It's in Japanese, but like they have English localization. I just couldn't find a video with that, so
yeah,
yeah.
I gotcha.
It does. If it didn't feature English, we wouldn't be talking about it here.
Yeah, that's kind of neat. My only thing is that I'm not a huge fan of card-based battles in general. Like, it's just a bleh.
Yeah, me neither. It's not really my thing. Although, it really does work well with like the
aesthetic
theme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if Mario Party mattered to me. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool.
I forgot to talk about this. Well, no, sorry. Please finish this one first.
Yes, I'm trying to pause the thing. Okay. So, the game does not yet have a release date, but it is currently being developed for PC, and it will eventually come out via Steam. But right now, there is a demo out on the 12th. So keep your eyes peeled for that demo, and maybe this will be your, dang it, Mario Party. Maybe this can be the Mario Party that you care about.
Yeah, I mean, there's online multiplayer, right? So for this game, so you can really treat it like it's an alternative to like a board game for a night. If you don't want to go out, you just want to stay in. I just play this with a couple of friends. I think there's some appeal to this for people who would like to play board games, anyways. So I was gonna say this earlier. I thought I kept it in the back of my head. But yes, the mic situation is fixed. Thank you for pointing that out, and thank you for all the folks who pointed out that like there was something going on with my mic. I'm kind of glad that I was running into situations here on HitPoint, because that kind of narrowed down the culprit to me, like to let me know what's going on.
Yeah.
Because I was having issues in my own Twitch stream, but it could be anything along the sound chain. So but that's coming from my own stream. But if
it's happening here, yours
right,
it kind of isolates the issue somewhat.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that actually helped out in solving the problem. And what I was going to tell all of you, and I'm very embarrassed to admit this, is that
you don't have to admit this. It's okay.
No, it's fine. I will admit it. I thought it was like a hardware issue. I don't know why I didn't check software first, but what happened was I had this window update one time, and it completely slipped my mind that it happened. But for whatever reason, with that one update, just that one, I've never seen it before happen ever again or since. All of my IO devices, all the driver reinstalled itself.
Ugh.
Like one after another. I've never seen that happen. As long as I've used the Windows system, I've never seen that happen. But because things still worked, I didn't think twice about it. But what happened is it worked, but it dropped my mic volume on the Windows side to 50% for some odd reason. I don't know why.
I know exactly what you're referring to, and that is the worst, because it's a setting that's tucked away in like the weirdest, like out of the way place. It's so easy to miss that. So I'm glad that you spotted that.
I'm like, you know what? What gave it away was I added this thing called the Fed head. I don't know if this can see it, but anyone who streams or does like audio engineering things, like they know what a Fed head is. Basically, it's like an inline mic activator amp thing, which should make it louder. And I tried it on stream, and when I try to increase the input, I just clip. So I'm just like, it doesn't make sense. Like I'm clipping,
but it's still
not
quiet,
getting louder, and it's definitely enough gain. there's no way, there's not enough gain. I have 3 amps for this mic. I know this mic is like notorious for hard to play, but I have the audio interface that has an amp. I have the processor, the DBX, that has an amp that should drive it by itself. I have the inline activator.
It drives mine. Yep.
Yeah, there's no way that we don't have enough gain for this mic. So I'm just like, you know what? The only explanation is not a hardware situation, but a software situation. And wouldn't you know it, Microsoft's like, yeah, you know what? It's like a Rock Lee thing. Do you remember the Rock Lee fight versus Gara?
No.
Okay. Remember the scene? Have you watched Naruto?
No, I haven't.
Okay, well, there's this infamous fight where he was like fighting this other kid, and then he was like losing, and then he like dropped these like super heavy weight rocks.
Oh,
and
okay.
Yeah, that's what it felt like when my volume went up to 100%.
Oh, you could have
dropped all the rocks.
You see, if you had just said, it's like the weighted clothing came off, like from DBZ, I'd have got that. That was more my jam.
Oh, you know what? That is like the equivalent, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's what it felt like. As soon as just the full potential of the mic just came right back, I'm like, oh yeah, now we're cooking.
I do need to watch Naruto at some point. I think I never did because it was one of those things that got super popular among like the grade of children right behind me, and I'm like, oh, that's for children. It's so popular, it can't be good. That's got to be schlock, right? No, I was such an elitist. I should give it a go at some point. I think I've heard enough good things at this point. I should.
No, that was pretty good. I don't know about Boruto. I tried watching Boruto. I couldn't get into it, but and then I found out that there was like a complete different artist that draws Boruto. So I'm like, that explains a lot. In any case, let's move on from this quick segue. Thank you again for everyone who contributed to my fixing this mic journey. I appreciate all of you. Just like how I appreciate this game. The maker of Ghosts of Tsushima. Well, I've been watching a lot of LTT from the maker of Ghosts of Tsushima. Second Punch just gave us the release date for their upcoming action-adventure game, Ghost of Yotei. Let's watch the trailer real quick and remind ourselves what this game is about.
And let's remind ourselves what it means to hype responsibly.
Oh, it looks so good. So good. I don't know if you've seen this recent trailer, but man.
Hang on. For some reason, it's not showing.
You want me to do it?
Oh, it's on my side. Hang on. Maybe I need to refresh the most professional stream on all of.
No.
It's not playing for me.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. My Watch Together stream is not working right.
Okay. Well, why don't you take a second and look at it, and then I'll just like read some chat or something.
Yeah. All right. We'll do that.
So I hear you guys talking about Elder Scrolls Oblivion remaster. Derek and I did want to bring it up, but then
I wanted to talk about it. I just don't have anything to say about it. I haven't played it yet.
About it at all, so there's nothing for me to say.
Oh, but I love Oblivion. I played the heck out of it back in the day.
I have no contribution to this.
Yeah, I played it so many times. Okay, all right. I think I've got it now. So let's check it out. But yeah, I really want to play Oblivion again.
I'm kind of hoping that this turns more into like
a wandering spirit seeking vengeance.
I don't want to. I'm reluctant to say first party, but like first party adjacent. Like, please, Sony, do something with this. Like, you have like nothing, Sony. Okay.
Yeah.
And they need to have something.
Sony's been sitting on a lot of IPs. Like that's kind of what they do. Like they make like a banger and then lock it away forever into the Disney vault or whatever their equivalent is.
And then they spend $100 million plus on like a shooter that never made like Day of Light. Oh, actually it did for like 2 weeks.
The Oni.
Oh man, that's beautiful.
The spider. The dragon. Lord Saito.
What are we going to do with this one, Saito?
I'm sorry. It came to this, little wolf.
He didn't look that sorry. This is a good trailer. I feel like I was just like slipping into just watching it, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm on a podcast. I should probably like talk about it. Dude, it's captivating.
Yes.
Situ Rainu. Why do you
So I never
this
did
takes place
play.
in modern day Hokkaido.
Wait, what? Modern day Hokkaido?
Modern day Hokkaido, which is the most northern prefecture
Right,
of
right, right.
Japan. So it's very cold. Think Alaska. Think
Right.
like Japan's Alaska.
I'm
is
familiar.
what this is. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess a lot of our viewers may not be.
Oh no, sorry, that was for the viewers. I know you know.
Okay.
You know.
Again, I keep
trust
forgetting
you.
I'm on a podcast.
It's like, sir, there are other people here. Yeah, Ghost of Yotei. It's really good.
Oh man.
So if Ghost of Tsushima is anything to go off of, like I think this is gonna be a critical success.
So they can like switch back and forth between times? Is that what I'm
don't
getting? Or
think so.
okay.
I don't
All right.
think so. Although, that's your guess is as good as mine. We'll have to see what happens when we actually play it. It might just be like flashbacks, right?
It could
And,
be, yeah.
Yeah, you can see it from like her younger perspective. Anyways, this game will be released on October 2nd of this year on PS5 only. The pre-order, including the limited edition, is now available on the Sony store. At the Sony store, it's like really expensive. So I don't even want to tell you how much it is. It's really expensive, but it is there if you're a fan. So please check it out. I will be pre-ordering this myself soon. I think if you just want the regular physical version, you can probably pre-order it from like, your typical.
I'm guessing if
like
Tsushima is
Amazon,
anything to go by,
etc.
you'll be able to find a physical copy local.
Yeah. On regular, it's just the limited edition that's on the Sony store.
Yeah.
Now, I do have just an announcement about this game for anyone who is interested. I did mention, I think on the podcast, I don't know if I said it on the podcast or I said it in my own Twitch channel, but because of these like insane backlash on this game, how dare they feature a female protagonist?
What?
No
Wait,
other
there's
reason. Yeah.
backlash?
Yeah. Oh, this is woke. Oh, a woman samurai. How dare you?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So, what I had said at the time was, whenever this game comes out, I'm gonna give a copy out to one of my viewers.
Yeah.
To basically do the complete opposite of trying to shut this game out. I'm going to let more people play this game and just kind of do my part. So I have an announcement. I'm going to make good on that promise. And because I stream at two places, I'm going to give one to each. So I'll think about how to do like a quick giveaway only for continental US for shipping purpose. But if you are a international viewer and you have a PlayStation 5, feel free to enter this and I'll send you a digital code. But that's like the only way I can send it to you. I'll try to see if there is a way to do that. Actually, I don't quote me on it yet because I don't know if there's a real way to send you a digital code. Because Steam made it easy, but I don't know if Sony is the same. So I'll look into that. But definitely for the continental US, if you live in one of the states, I'm happy to send you a physical copy. on this channel here on HitPoint, as well as my Twitch channel over on Twitch. So please come by to hang out. I'll give you guys more details, as the time draw close. It's a good amount of time between now and October. So yeah, but just want to let you guys know that I will be sending out a free copy of this game to one lucky winner.
Heck yeah. We'll figure out the details of how that'll work.
We'll figure out the details.
And we'll talk about it as the date gets a little closer.
Also, Sony, if you're listening, you want to sponsor this giveaway,
That'd be pretty sweet.
Otherwise, it's out of my pocket, which is fine. Anyways, not the limited edition. No, sorry.
Oh yeah.
I'm not even getting the limited edition myself. So please. Anywho. On to the next one. This next one is crazy because I no one saw this one coming.
Dude, there were no rumors, nothing. But I know a certain fluffy dog that's going to be very excited by this news if they haven't already heard about it. Coming out of left field, Capcom and Good Old Games have just shadow dropped Breath of Fire 4. Let's check this out. Oh my god. Yeah. Okay, here we go.
I got so many pings on my Discord and on Twitter. Everyone's just like, it's just tagging me to posts related to it. And I'm like, what is going on with Breath of Fire? Like, I didn't understand.
I know.
When I woke up, I was just like, what? I have like 10 like pings on Breath of Fire. And I'm like, okay, I'll look into it.
So for those of you who aren't aware, Breath of Fire 4 is the last Breath of Fire that was ever made. True story. Despite the fact that there may have been other games with other numbers released following that, this is the last real Breath of Fire title.
Yeah. Breath of Fire 5 is not a thing.
And neither was Breath of Fire 6.
Or 6, yeah, for that matter.
Dragon Quarter was a good game. Don't get me wrong. It just was not, in my opinion, everybody has an opinion. In my opinion, it wasn't a very good representation of what a good Breath of Fire game was. So this has like some, you can't even see it because they're just showing off like the intro scene here, but it has some of the best pixel art that you've ever seen in a PlayStation RPG. It has just this gorgeous like world that you can like rotate around using the triggers, or bumper buttons, I think, to switch the view, rotate the whole isometric map around you. Man, it is such a beautiful game. Now I have seen that there's some sort of like default filter applied when you play the game, but there is a way to disable it, which gives you an even like higher resolution like representation of the world without all of the dithering that sometimes occurs. And I don't hate dithering personally speaking, but apparently there's some like tweaks that you can do to the game to get it looking just as good, or potentially, depending on your opinion, better than the original PlayStation release, which has me absolutely psyched. I know. Yeah. I'm very, very excited. And yeah, you can go play that. I think it's available right now on Good Old Games.
Yes.
Only Good Old Games.
Only on Good Old Games.
How much is it on Good Old Games anyway? I should probably look that up.
$10.
$10?
$9.99. Not even $10. It's 1 penny short of
my
$10
goodness.
US.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
In an age where RPGs, brand new RPGs they're going to cost like $80, $10. Oh.
Just a lunch, less than a lunch somewhere.
I've paid more for coffee.
What coffee are you drinking?
I mean, not on the regular, but I mean, like, I'm pretty sure at some point, like, just maybe while I'm out and about in New York City or something, I stop into a shop and they're like, here's some exorbitant like highway price.
Yeah, it's highway robbery.
Yeah.
So you know what's crazy? Since we're on topic, you know what's crazy is that first of all, this really is just available on GOG because a lot of times it will be like, oh, you say GOG, but it's really GOG on Steam. No, it's not available on Steam. And you know what's really crazy is that if you search Breath of Fire 4 on Steam, because I was just looking at it earlier, you will not find the game, but you will find the soundtrack to the game from Capcom. I know. And you know how much the soundtrack cost?
$20.
$7.99.
Oh, okay.
The full game is $9.99 on GOG, and it's
a good soundtrack
alone.
It's a good soundtrack.
It is, but you're $2 short of the full game. Like, you know, the actual experience of playing the thing is $2 more on GOG, and that's wild to me.
That said, that is less dollars than it would take to buy most albums on like iTunes.
That's fair. That's fair.
And I spent a lot more than that on the Breath of Fire 4 vinyl that I have in my collection. That's how good the soundtrack is. Yeah. Anyways,
you pay a premium for that. That is a premium good, sir.
It is, in fact, a premium good.
It is. Yeah, but I thought that was crazy. I'm like, wow, really? The full game is only $2 more and a soundtrack on GOG. That's crazy. Yeah, I wonder if this is the beginning to more. Like, I don't know if Capcom's just like, yeah, sure, GOG, just release it. Just you and you alone. It's exclusive on GOG.
What?
I don't know how they came to that. Like,
well, I think so. Here's part of it is Breath of Fire 4. I think actually had back in the day
a PC
version. Yeah, kind of like how Suikoden actually had a PC native version as well, which is weird, right?
Yeah,
it's like it had. If you find like gameplay of it, I know a buddy of mine back in the day. Jimmy Hoppa was the name of his channel. He had a show called Import Gaming FTW, and he's a huge Suikoden fan, and he put together a video showcasing the weird releases of Suikoden, and one of those was the like Windows 95 version of this game, and like it played in a window of Suikoden. It played in this window, pure like with a blue bar over the top. Just really ancient looking, and it had like extra windows off to the side that would also launch alongside the main gameplay screen where like other stats and stuff might show up, and it's just the weirdest choice. Yeah, so anyways,
Japanese companies come a long way on porting games to PC.
I mean,
they've come
and a lot of
way.
that long way though has happened in the last 5 years, it feels like, you know.
That's fair, and they still haven't got it quite down, but you know they're getting there. I guess.
Who really needs anything more than 60 frames anyway? Huh?
And all the different ways to configure the game. Makes it that much harder, I'm sure. Yeah. So I'm excited to see what else Capcom do. I mean, Capcom's winning like left and right. I don't remember the last time that they did any major fumble, to be honest.
So here's, you know,
when was the last time they really messed up? I mean, maybe Dragon Dogma 2, like that wasn't quite the hit that they thought it would be.
Well,
but that's not even like a fumble.
Yeah, that's just you know a bad roll of the dice, really.
Yeah, but that was just like the biggest thing in recent memory. I mean,
right. But when I think of a foible or a fumble, I'm thinking of something more like you know, bad PR, right? Like when's the last time Capcom actually squandered PR? And I'm thinking like the thing that comes to my mind was there was going to be at one point some kind of Mega Man RPG thing that got canceled, but it's been so long I can't remember, and I'm like, how can I hold that against them at this point? Like, yeah,
I
feel like that was like the last.
You can't even remember it, like
or the details of it. I mean, Breath of Fire 6 might might be one of those moments, but that was what, 2006? Like I can't feel
almost
that.
20 years ago. Like
It's as old as Oblivion. So
it's pretty long ago.
it's as old as the Xbox 360. So maybe we should let it go.
They're winning pretty hard, and I would love for them to do more Breath of Fire if this is sort of like the first step to it.
Oh yeah. I feel like every fan of Breath of Fire owes it to themselves to like buy the game just so they can like tell their grandchildren, oh yes, I remember back in the day they released Breath of Fire 4 and I paid money for it but out of my own damn pocket, and that is what led to them reviving the franchise. You're welcome.
We missed the Derek voice acting ever since he stopped streaming. We're not getting that good old Derek voice acting anymore, and that's a shame. That's a crime against humanity. But speaking of series that dates back a long time ago, let's talk about this next one called MADO Monogatari, which is a long-running series that most people in the West hasn't really heard of. But this series actually goes way back in Japan. They are bringing this new entry called MADO Monogatari Fia and the Wondrous Academy to the West, and they've just given us a release date. So let's take a quick look at this trailer just to kind of refresh our memory of what this thing is about.
All right. And for those of you who don't know, MADO is in fact short for tomato.
That is factually correct.
It's literally just short for My Tomato Story.
You know, some people will believe you.
I should probably walk that back.
Some people will believe you. Street Fighter versus Marvel.
Ooh, Street Fighter versus Marvel
Infinity. I don't know. Ooh. What happened. Is it like a net code issue? Like, 'cause usually when it comes to fighting games, then Baku is like always some kind of netcode thing, or like some kind of matching thing.
So, what exactly is MADO Monogatari? Because I don't get a feeling I'm gonna see much gameplay here.
Oh yeah, unfortunately. So I tried looking for one with gameplay, but they haven't released one as of right now. Maybe closer to the release date they'll have one. But
so is this kind of like a first-person dungeon crawler?
This is a dungeon crawler. Yeah, this is a long series of dungeon crawling game.
Like mystery dungeon style, or like first-person dungeon crawler, or
mystery dungeon style.
Oh,
so top down. Yeah, top down, not first person.
Cool.
Yeah, it's so people who like dungeon crawler, like this is one to watch for them. And it's like a long running series too. Puyo Puyo actually comes from this series.
Oh, that's right. We talked about this not that long ago.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. And Puyo Puyo is like more well known, which is kind of funny to me because like it's like a really fun like puzzle game. Like let's call it guys, Tetris kind of deal.
Guys, he's talking about Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. Okay, that is actually literally how we got Puyo Puyo here in the United States.
Oh my god. Is that what happened?
Yeah. Yeah. It's bad. It's the same game and it has the same like kind of characters, but it also happens to have some Sonic stuff overlaid.
So bizarre.
It's really weird. Yeah.
But anyhow, if you are a fan of these top-down dungeon crawler games, which I'm not like personally a huge fan of, but I know it's popular enough for this game to be running for like 20 years. There's got to be fans out there. This game will be coming out on July 29th on PS4, 5, and Switch. The limited edition is available at the Idea Factory International Store. So if you are interested, there they are.
Oh yeah. Also, it's a Yoshi cookie, Yoshi's Cookie or something like that. I can't remember the name of the game anymore, but yeah, well put, CJ. All right, moving along. Furyu just announced that they will be making a new school life RPG in collaboration, either with Aquaria. So the developers behind the Caligula Effect and writer Ryotaro Ito, who worked on SMT Devil Summoner and Monarch. The game's set in Kosei Academy, and the is going to be the first school to complement a cross-reality network. What? Complement? First school to complement?
Must have misspelled something.
Anyways, they're the first ones to use a cross-reality network
install this network. Yes.
Johari. What could possibly go wrong when you cross the streams of reality?
Cross-reality network sounds like,
This sounds like how you get demons in your computer.
Yeah, and let's give it all to a bunch of teenagers too. You think it's no less?
I mean, you think it's hard enough to get rid of malware when it's from this universe, right? So, in this game, you'll be playing as a protagonist who is a member of the Student Support Services who discovers that students are disappearing to glitches in a system filled with monsters.
Yes, that's the background to this.
Now, the real question is, is it ransomware? Are they being held for ransom?
I feel like you're gonna make money out of these glitches. So
are we gonna need to
opposite of ransomware?
Are we going to have to buy Bitcoin and send it to the monsters to make them disappear?
Or you fight the monster and make Bitcoins.
Ooh.
Yes.
Time to funge some tokens.
That's right, guys. This is the not persona that you've been waiting for.
Varlet, aka
yes.
Not Sona.
Not Sona. This is the third Not Sona game. So obviously the Caligula Effect is, well, okay, so Monarch came first. Monarch is the first Not Sona game. And then the Caligula Effect is like the second Not Sona game. This is now the third, not Sona game. Well, that loud one, that's gotta be like the best friend character.
Gotta be.
You have to have a best friend character. Whatever, whoever this dude is.
It's looking pretty good. It's looking kind of Persona-y.
It's very Persona-y.
Oh.
Also very Fuyu.
Yeah.
The voice acting is quite good from what I'm hearing so far.
I mean, it sounds very Japanese from what I'm hearing.
I would like the battle animation to be a little bit more snappy. I don't know if this is gonna be like it, but like it felt like it had this like weird slow down thing that just like it's a little jarring for me.
Yeah, I think I kind of see what you're talking about. How there's like just a little too much, like they could tighten that up
emphasis,
a lot.
Yeah. I feel like they can make this just a little tighter. It would feel a lot better because you have to stare at these kind of battle animation like for a long. Hi. Oh, what is going on? Oh, spoiler. Spoiler.
Is it a spoiler?
Oh no. Well, I'm sure. I'm sure it is a spoiler, but it makes no sense to us without context. So.
She's just been fired.
Oh no. One of the main characters in there.
It's probably just a bad end or something. Who knows? I don't know if that's a spoiler. But anyways, so this game is going to be coming out on the, as if we needed more games to come out just at the tail end of August. August 28, 2025, coming to PlayStation 5, the Nintendo Switch 1?
Switch, and
Switch,
in
and
case
PC via Steam.
In case anyone's wondering, yes, this also means that some of the Persona veterans are working on this game because they've also worked on Caligula Effect, and they have writers on staff who have worked on SMT. So this is sort of like as much of a Persona adjacent as you're going to get.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it like a Persona clone because it's got those original devs on board. Who just have left over time because these we're talking about people who worked on like up through Persona 2, which in my opinion, Persona 2 Eternal Punishment even further
than Persona 2. Yeah,
really.
So so the people who worked on Monarch worked on P1, P2.
Yeah, and that's what I thought.
calculate the fact that people who worked on P3
Ooh.
and potentially P4.
Okay.
So
Well, I did not
there's
know
like
that.
a good amount of veterans on this in this company and on this team who worked on previous personas. So
Sweet.
it's one of those things I do want to throw out there. It's not like, oh, we're very inspired by this game. It's like, no. They worked on those Persona games and they are
Yeah.
working on this now out of Atlas.
That's very cool.
Yeah,
All right.
that's pretty cool. We'll see.
So-
We'll see if it turns out good. I don't know. Like, it's anybody's guess.
So that about does it for our game announcements, I think. Yeah, Varlet was the last one. So now it's time to move on to some discussions about industry
The
news.
industry. That's right. So I do have this like quick thing that hang on one second. Oh, did I close it?
Uh-oh.
Oh shoot, I messed up. Sorry, give me 1 second. Tiny technical difficulty.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Sorry,
I can
there. Can you?
I can
Give me 1
stall,
second.
sure. So about that Oblivion, guys, I know I talked about the Oblivion remaster, rumors of it leading up to its release, but holy cow, man. I'm so torn about, like, do I want to play Oblivion for the 17th time? Because, like, for me, Oblivion is like the Chrono Trigger of Western RPGs, right? It's like, it's super good, but also it's the one that I just like had to replay over and over and over. So I'm like torn. Do I want to replay this yet again, or Expedition 33, or neither, and play nothing out of indecision overload?
Doing nothing is a valid response.
Choosing not to decide, you have still have made a choice. So
True.
the reality though is, I did talk to Baku a little bit about this. I actually did get an advanced copy code for Expedition 33, but when I tried to play it on my PS5, for whatever reason, I got no voice acting audio out of it, and I was going to play it and make a first impressions video. It's way too late to make a video at this point because it's not going to get any views. But I do want to. I missed the boat. But because of that weird glitch with the audio, I'm like, if I make a video and like complain about how the voice acting doesn't work for me, like it's going to be a completely invalid video. Like, I have to like be able to gauge the game on its own merits, especially if it was something that was going to be patched like on a day one thing or something. I don't know. Anyways,
I think eventually, whenever Expedition 33 wins Game of the Year,
that might be a good time.
It will be relevant again. So you might as well.
I mean, it's still relevant, but here's the thing: I did notice all my RPG friends on the YouTube put out an Expedition 33 video, and like it's just so much coverage that like none of them got very much traction, and I think it's because of just saturation at this point. So
probably true. Yeah.
So I mean, and also I feel like it's because a lot of people really want to play them, and if you really want to play a game, are you really gonna like a lot of people are sold? They're gonna buy and play the game. If you are already sold on it, do you need a review to tell you to go buy it? Like, probably not. And you just risk spoilers, and some people are less careful about that than others. So, you know.
That is true. Well, you know what wouldn't risk any spoilers? What we're about to talk about next, which is I'm now ready. Yes.
Okay.
I wanted to what I was working on, I wanted to show. I gave you the other link for the video, right? Because I was gonna use the browser to show.
You did, but did you close that browser? Because you might need to send me a new link.
I reopened. I reopened a different. Yeah, so it's the same link. Yeah.
Okay. So time for me to share your screen then.
Yes.
You've hidden all of your waifu wallpaper and everything.
Oh no, it's just a window. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, hang on.
It's not.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh my god, what are you showing? Just kidding.
Doesn't that look great?
Could you zoom in a little bit there?
Yeah, I sure can.
Like up to there. There you go. Oh man, what is
so? Let's talk a little bit about this for any fans of NieR out there, and I'm sure there's at least a couple. Square Enix opened a new website for the NieR 15th anniversary celebration, and for a while there hasn't really been anything going on, so we didn't really talk about it, even though it opened like a little while ago. But more recently, they just completed something called the special novel Undecided Option. It is a 6-part novel series that gives more lore to this already very complex lore to NieR. And as you can see, they finally finished it. So every time they've updated it 3 times. Each time they gave 2 chapters, and now as of the 6th chapter, this is complete. Through these chapters, you can get like additional insights and little tidbits on the story of NieR Automata, NieR Incarnation, and NieR Replicant. And each of these chapters are going to be just a little different. But, if you're a NieR fan, you can pretty much already expect that they have this very interesting writing style that's not very, direct, let's just say. And you're going to have to, play a little guessing game as to, what this is all about. So I won't spoil it for you. I haven't read most of it myself, so I wouldn't get into it. But if you are interested, you can head on over to their website. It is Japanese only, and click in one of these and show you. It is Japanese only. However, what you can do is just copy all this, throw it onto ChatGPT, and ChatGPT will do a pretty good job at translating this. You're gonna have to use a little bit of thinking as to what is really trying to tell you. But if you are a fan and you just need that extra more sort of story from NieR before they come up with a new game, which may or may not ever happen, this is probably the next best thing. So just letting you all know if you are interested in this. That's it for this piece of industry news. We've got a lot more things to talk about, starting with this next one, which is everyone's favorite topic, including my own, and that's tariffs.
Yay!
Yes. Yay! We're coming back to talk about tariffs because
because there's not enough 30-something-year-old dudes on the internet with podcasts talking about tariffs right now.
Exactly. That's exactly it. Okay, so part of it was inspired by...
If I had a dollar for every dude on a podcast talking about tariffs, I could afford to pay for these tariffs.
And I would perfectly understand if you guys are just sick of hearing the tariff thing, but you know what? We still have to talk about it. And the reason we have to talk about it is because we are a JRPG podcast, and we talk about different things that affects us. So let's talk about tariff in the context of what we like, which is our games, the products thereof. A couple shows ago, we talked about tariffs. Was it the Switch 2 show that we talked about tariffs?
I think it was when we...
Yeah.
We
talked a little bit about it. We gave a summary of what tariff is, what it does, what it doesn't do. I assume that everyone has at least a slight idea of what tariffs is about anyway. But just in case you still don't know what it does, it's a tax on exporters, basically. And
that gets passed on to consumers.
And it gets passed on to consumers. But I'll break it down a little bit of how that actually works. Is the United States will tax people who are trying to export things from a certain origin of production, in this case China, and anyone who tries to export these things to America, or anyone who tries to import these things into America, will have to pay these tax called tariffs. And there's something like more than 200% at this point. And
for certain regions, at least.
Yeah. And imagine if you are like a company who is doing business and your entire thing is importing things from China and selling them. You're gonna have to pass that cost on, because the margin on selling things is maybe like 10-15%. That's all you're living off of, is 10-15%. There's no way you can pay 200%. Never mind not making money. There's no way you can survive. So what are they gonna do? They're gonna pass that tariff off to you and say, well, okay, I can't pay this. I can pay like 5% off of our margin. That's it. The rest of the 195%, that's on you. If you want to buy it, buy it. If you don't want to buy it, then fine. Like there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what's happening right now. And the reason why we're talking about it now is because we were talking about more about in terms of what do we think will happen at the time of the show. Now we're going to talk about what is happening because companies are starting to finally react now that the tariffs is in place, now that things are not looking like it's going to flip back. Here are two general scenarios from a lot of importer, exporters, vendors that I see that sells like figures, which are things that you may care about because, hey, if you are, let's say you are a Trails fan. How many Trails fans do we have in the show right now? I would surmise that at least a third of you are Trails fans. Okay.
Probably.
And as we've talked about, Kotobukiya is making figures for Trails, all kinds of figures from Estelle all the way to, you know, all the newest characters that I don't know anything about, Elaine, what have you.
Yep.
Well, guess where those figures are made? China.
Yeah.
So expect those to come with like a 200% tariff. And if you didn't think it will affect you, it will affect you, right? Because you're like, well, I don't buy stuff from Shein. I don't buy stuff from Temu, and neither do I. But guess what? You do buy other things. Electronics. We're not even going to talk about electronics yet, but we will.
Yeah.
So
like one of the things I used to really enjoy buying some stuff from Japan, like Japanese mini disc players, because I'm just a hipster like that. I think that they're neat, and I like them, and I want to buy them. But now, in addition to the tariffs, they've also gotten rid of the de minimis clause. So like even if I just want to like buy something from Japan, like as a like just for myself, it used to be like if it was something under like a few $100 or $1,000, like you wouldn't have to worry about paying a tariff. Now it's like everything gets tariffed, which is going to be a real pain in the butt for a lot of things that I liked to buy before. Yeah. So
boy. Yeah. So, well, it's not that there's no more waifu figurines, but prepare to pay 300% of what you would have paid. So if a figure is $200, it's now $600, not including shipping.
How much would it be to buy that $14,000 figure from Square Enix?
Well, you know, funny enough, that might actually not be included in tariff because it's not made in China.
Oh, it was made in Japan. But Japan still has a tariff.
They may still increase the price because the raw material use was from China. And I don't know to what extent they're going to get hit with the tariff. But I don't think that particular case is going to get hit. Yeah. That particular.
Okay.
But also it's a $14,000 statue. So, okay, you know, take that as you will.
But I'm pretty sure Japan was still getting hit by something like a 46% tariff last I heard. So,
you know, they keep flip-flopping on those. So it's just really hard for me
You're right. It's hard to keep up. It's hard to keep up.
And I'll touch on that part of the problem too, which is a problem that we in economists will call uncertainty, but because it's rightfully so. But we'll talk about that.
Oh yeah, I think I should also bears mentioning that in addition to being almost a doctor in waifu studies, Baku also has an actual degree in economics. So
that's true. It's almost like I'm selling that.
Not like, I mean, well, here's the thing. It's not like we're trying to appeal to any sort of authority, but rather just we're not just a couple of, well, I mean, I am one of the peanut gallery weighing in on this.
Super smart. Y'all have no idea.
but Baku actually is credentialed, so you know, I feel like that's worth talking about.
I hate that the degree is finally worth something now that now that there's terror.
Yeah,
it hasn't helped me do anything, but now I'm suddenly somewhat authoritative in this topic that I wish I didn't have to be.
Yeah.
So I will say that, you know, as far as like these products are concerned, there are two general response that you're going to see, neither of which are great. Okay. And the first is halting shipment. As in, we're not going out of business yet, but we can't send you anything because of all these insanities that's happening. And the example that I'll use is something called Good Smile. If you guys remember all these like
oh yeah,
Papa Parade like figures,
yeah,
very affordable small figures. They're like maybe $40. Like a lot of good like anime and game characters. Here's some Good Smile US. We would like to inform you of important changes to pre-orders on our site. Due to the rapid ongoing shifts in international trade policy and the resulting uncertainty, see that word, uncertainty around U.S. tariffs, we have made a very difficult decision to temporarily pause all pre-orders on goodsmileus.com. In addition, we will be delaying shipments of products entering the United States until further notice. The decision was not made lightly. The unpredictable nature of the current tariff environment has created significant challenges in both cost and logistics. And we want to ensure that we continue providing the level of service and transparency you expect from us. You may have noticed recent price adjustments on our site. These reflect the current tariff conditions. However, should the situation improve before your item is ready to ship, we'll adjust the order to reflect lower price accordingly. We truly appreciate your patience and understanding during this unpredictable time. And unpredictable it is for businesses. Like, and I don't know how much to tell you.
Can I dovetail into this topic real quick with something that we recently talked about? So as a lot of you know, Baku and I have actually been talking to a lot of indie developers lately, and I'm not going to mention any specific names, but I mean, we do like to talk outside of the show a little bit, and a lot of people get really excited to tell us kind of the things that they're working on, because like, who else can they really tell? I mean, because they can't announce things to the public yet because they're still in work in progress. But I will say that this tariff situation has severely been impacting not only like decisions about whether or not to make physical games available, it's that uncertainty that prevents them from even attempting at this point, some of them from even making that a stretch goal. Because like, if they take, a $60 pre-order, but a $60 backer, and they say, okay, that'll get you a physical copy of the game, but then it costs them $90 to make it or something, or after importing and everything. Like it's that uncertainty that they don't even know what the goal has to be in order to make that a like Kickstarter stretch goal. And alternatively to that, the Kickstarters that have already occurred and promised physical media, I mean, dude, that's wild. I mean, let's think of the First Press Games situation, because by the way, I found the charge. I found that I paid something like $100 for Chained Echoes. Yeah, I found the charge when I was reconciling my taxes and stuff last year. And I found that that I still don't have my copy of the game yet, and I don't think a lot of people do. And that's gonna be. I can't even imagine right now what that means for the people who like spent X amount of money on this thing, and now First Press Games, if they do deliver, are gonna have like, that's the thing. If they do deliver, they'll have to pay an additional 300%, 200%. What was this for? Because I'm pretty sure a lot of that's happening in China, right?
200%.
God dang.
And potentially going up because it's like, well, that's just another 100%.
Yeah, yeah.
No big deal. Yeah.
It's that fight between the guy from the Breakfast Club and the principal. I can't remember their names. It's that exchange. That's another 200%. Day. That's another day of suspension or whatever.
Yeah, no. Once you go above 200%, like what difference does it make to a average consumer between 200% and 1,000%?
No, none.
There's
Like,
no meaningful difference anymore if you're just going to not buy a thing because of the tariff. So there is like at that point, who cares? Like it's moot now. You 5,000%. Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
It makes no difference. Because
yeah, I mean,
weren't
at a
gonna
certain
buy it
point,
anyways.
you're not going to buy it. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Um,
it's
so,
crazy.
That's one response from these vendors. Here's another response from and that is to tag on the price as duties, which I can quote from GeekJack. GeekJack is a company that imports different goods from Japan, and sell different goods of like small Japan like indie creators, and try to like ship it out to the rest of the world. So a lot of these like indie like creators depend on services like GeekJack to get their merchandise out to the rest of the world because they're just small nobody. They can't really like get the stuff out themselves. Here's what GeekJack has to say. For GeekJack customers residing in the US, as you may be aware of the recent news worldwide, shipments to the US containing products made in China is now subject to high tariff rates of over 100%, 200% actually, with the amount of duties collected exceeding the price of the product. Given the situation, please be aware that even if your purchase was initially tax exempt under the tariff rules in place at the time of your order, or if you paid a partial customs duty, you may be required to pay the difference between that amount and the current tariff rate upon receipt of your package. However, these tariff regulations are subject to rapid changes, and the rate could return to a lower level in the future. Therefore, prioritizing our customers' convenience, GeekJack has decided to temporarily suspend shipments to the US, which is what we talked about before, for orders including products originally from China. For customers who wish to wait for potential changes in tariff rules to avoid the risk of additional charges as much as possible, we will hold your relevant orders. Please be assured that there will be no storage fees or other charges incurred. Good guy, GeekJack. I'll explain what that means in a second. For customers who understand and accept any applicable tariffs under the current regulations and wish for prompt shipment, please contact our customer service. Your order number. We'll ship your order as soon as possible, starting with the orders that are available for shipment. Apologize for inconvenience, and we may cause and appreciate your understanding and cooperation. So basically, Good Guy GeekJack is basically saying, look, you can pre-order this stuff and we'll just like hold it for you until tariffs like is not crazy. Or if you don't mind paying the tariff, we'll tag it on and we'll send it to you ASP. Your choice.
But that's the wild thing right now, because warehouses are not free. Storage, that kind of thing. Yeah. It's anyways, that's fine.
So now that we've talked about some of these things, let's talk about what that means to us, and any other future implications, because as Derek had already mentioned about physical copies and any kind of backer items, any limited edition, anything that you like. I mean, look, we joke about limited edition stuff. But realistically, let's be honest, some of you guys, for that game that you really like that one game that you really like, you wouldn't mind spending additional money for memorabilia that comes with the limited edition. Like, that's why they exist, because people buy them. If no one buys them, it wouldn't exist. It does exist. People do buy them. And you're about to get hit by that, because guess where most of those things are made in? China. So at least in the short run, and you know what, even in the long run, my expectation is that you're just gonna either suck it up and pay for it, or it's just not gonna be available to you. One of the two choices. There is no third option in this case. It's either it's not available, or you're gonna have to pay a lot more for it. Oh, well, actually, no, there's a third option, which is if you can find someone like GeekJack who hold it for you until the tariff thing is over, then sure, you can still pay that price. You're just not gonna get it like as soon as it's ready, you know. But it's kind of like a risky endeavor, because if GeekJack ever goes under, then what's going to happen to your order, right? Like you don't know, like
Yeah.
some
It'll
company
just
outside.
probably
Yeah.
be liquidated, honestly.
Yeah, so that's a risk. Hey, if you're willing to go through all that, now of
And
course
when a
there
company
are.
like GeekJack can't export things to one of its primary consumers, what's the likelihood of
Yeah.
remaining solvent?
So a lot of companies, I think,
Yeah.
may go under. Honestly, like a lot of good
Yeah.
companies that are reliable, established, 'cause they can't ship stuff out to their major market. Then what are you going to do, right? Like 50% or more of their profit comes from the U.S. and basically 100% of the things that are made are probably made in China. Now, if you're thinking, hey, why don't we just start having things made in America? Yeah, good luck with that. Never
Yeah.
mind that we don't have the factories. Even if we do have the factories, who's gonna do all this work? What, minimum wage? Even our minimum wage is 3 times the amount of an average salary of a Chinese worker otherwise. Okay.
Yep.
So prepare to pay 3 times the costs, even if those workers are willing to take the absolute federal minimum wage, and they won't. But even if, okay, so good luck with that. And never mind all the logistics, all the raw materials, all the things. Okay, there's a lot of costs incurred, and of course, new factories are going to throw those costs onto that too. So still, it might even be worse than if you have it made in America. I have a sneaking suspicion that it would cost even more than 200% tariff.
You're
Like that
probably right.
same figure that would cost you 120 will probably cost you like the same amount, but made here. Like you're never going to see that amount drop.
No. Well,
like,
yeah.
hate to tell you. Anyways,
That's a depressing thought, but yeah.
But that's the implication here. From my and you're gonna see more companies wrestle with this. Sony, we're just talking about like the limited edition for Ghost of Yotei, right? All those physical products, right? It's I think it's listed for $250 on the Sony store. I don't know what tariff looks like on that thing, but prepare, have fun with that. There you go. That's and I quite honestly, I don't know what that means for physical games yet, because I haven't seen what that looks like. But I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow they're just like, yeah, we're gonna slap a 300% tariff on these things that are made outside the US. And these games are not put together within the US.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? Like a shipment of physical copies. Even if I don't tariff like digital copy, and you can all switch over to digital, like only, it's fine. But what about your game systems?
Yeah.
What if we just say electronics no longer exempt? So that switch, if it's put together in China, then what? How much is that? How much is the Switch right now?
Oh gosh, wasn't it like 450?
Yeah, let's say it's not MSRP. Let's say it's like just the cost of making it, and
like the bill of materials.
They usually sell at loss anyway? Because it's kind of a
usually
loss leader.
However, I think that there was a Business Insider article that listed out the bill of materials that goes into a Switch, and it really wasn't very much. Like I think it was still like they had maybe $50 profit on that, but it was like
let's say 300. So prepare to Switch 2 to be $900. Let's say it's $300. Let's say they make 100 something. Prepare for that to be now 900 plus another $100 of like profit, so like $1,000.
Yeah.
Yay. Avaro says physical games are made in Mexico, according to Daniel Ottman. They will get more expensive. Yeah. So, and here's the thing, and I did say that we'll come back to talk about uncertainty, and that's part of the uncertainty. There's no saying that someone from Mexico pissed off our administration. Now we're going to throw 150% tariff on Mexico.
Yeah.
There's no. There used to be, right, where we have like some kind of trade treaties, and we're like, yeah, we're pretty certain that nothing's gonna happen. Well, all those things are out the water now. There's no treaty. There's nothing that holds this administration back. They can just do and say whatever they want whenever they want, and then they can remove the tariff the next day, or a week from then, or 2 weeks, or raise it to 300%, 500%. Walk it back the next day. 700% the next day.
Yeah.
Are you telling me that they can't do that or they won't do it?
I mean,
Like,
what you're kind of illustrating here really well is that when you have such a volatile situation, you really can't afford to make your business center around interacting with the United States.
And that's the key here, guys, is that it is that uncertainty, not only uncertainty from the environment, but as consumers. I don't know if I want to place an order with you because you may tack that tariff onto me at a later time. Yep. And if you don't, you might just hold it, right? I might get like this crazy delay. Like, so maybe I just won't give you any money at all. Right. And to Derek's point, from a business standpoint, well, the businesses don't know if they want to do business with us anymore because it's just crazy. Like, I don't know if I want to tell you anything, that I don't want to offer you anything because I can't, within reason, hold that promise. And that's going to hurt me in the end. Just like these indie developers. As much as we bring these folks on to talk about their passion projects, they are artists who are trying to create, but they're also business people creating a product for you to consume, right? And I don't want to make it sound that way, but the truth of the matter is they've got money in on this thing, and they're a very real impact to them, whether or not they can recuperate, that cost that they throw in to create a thing. It's real. So
it's a
all
bummer.
These things is playing out now. And I just want you guys to be aware that this is coming, and it's here now. There's no more speculation. It is happening. It's just a matter of how much more of these things will come along. So keep your eyes peeled. Just make sure you're aware that these changes are coming. And don't be surprised when the next game you buy is $150 physical.
Well, speaking of games that sell for $150, let's talk a little bit about this whole Chrono Trigger thing. Because
moving away from depression into a different kind of depression.
Oh, how dare you! How dare you spoil the story, sir? So,
sir,
a little while ago, you might have heard some of the internet's euphoria at the news of rumors that Yuji Horii spilled the beans during an interview at a Comic-Con here in Naples 2025. Yuji Horii, the creator of Dragon Quest, and one of the members of the Dream Team who created Chrono Trigger, while he was at a panel, and he had allegedly mentioned a Chrono Trigger remake of some sort, and then after someone was like, "Are you sure about that?" And so like he walked it back after that, or something like that. I don't speak Japanese. You may not know this about me, but Nihongo ga skoshi wakarimasu. Not very much at all. So this apparent leak, though, had sparked wild speculation on the internet and reaction from fans all over the internet. However, turns out, that's kind of a mistranslation issue going on here, I guess. You want to talk a little bit more about that as someone who actually does speak Nihongo?
I speak only very tiny Nihongo. But mistranslation is at fault here. It kind of takes me back to like the earlier days of HitPoint, where I would occasionally find things that talks about games from Japan, and then it's like, oops, no, mistranslation. Sorry. things happen. Not
Yeah.
from me. I make sure to triple check the primary sources.
Sure.
But that does happen every now and then in our space. So it's not too surprising that this happened. But I think now I didn't buy into this whole rumor thing from the get-go because like I'm just like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like
I mean, there have been stupid ways of leaking information before, and people are humans. So like, I wouldn't put it past it that this could have happened.
It could.
I'm just feeling like Charlie Brown right now, and Lucy keeps holding that ball, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm not even going to try and kick that at this point.
I'm not falling for it this time.
No, exactly. I'm used to hyping responsibly.
A little jaded, right?
How dare
me
you?
anyways. Like,
True fact, but still,
I just feel like, look, I will be super hyped when, and even then responsibly, when and if Square Enix ever make like a release trailer or some kind of teaser even, then then it's legit, right? And there's a high chance that's coming. But until such point, anyone who misspoke, maybe, perhaps, it means nothing. It's just like Yoko Taro. Like all these, it's starting to get a little frustrating for me because I go through a lot of game news, and every time people tag me like, "Oh, did you hear what Yoko Taro said?" I'm like, "No, what did Yoko Taro say?" "Yo, he was talking about the possibility of a new NieR game." I'm like, "Okay." And then like, and in another interview, it's like, "Oh, did you hear what Yoko Taro said? Oh my God, new NieR is coming." And you read the article, you read the interview, and then it's just Yoko Taro being Yoko Taro. And he's like, "Yeah, sure, I wouldn't mind making it if there's money, Square Enix."
Yeah.
Like, which is a very Yoko Taro thing to say.
This is why we very rarely talk about rumors, by the way, on HitPoint, because they so rare, except for like the NVIDIA leak, if it's something like that, we'll talk a bit about it.
Yeah.
But
that was worthwhile because like part of that actually came true. And
a lot of
so
it.
we're like, okay,
I'm still thinking that, I mean, like there's only a couple things left that haven't been
Final Fantasy 9
and Tactics, right?
And
those are the two.
Came out. Oh, no, it wasn't Tactics.
That was Tactics
2.
Ogre. You're thinking of Tactics Ogre.
FF Tactics?
Yeah, I'm talking about.
Are they remaking
FF Tactics? Well, that was in the leak, wasn't it?
Right. I forgot about that.
So those are the two things that haven't come to fruition, not yet, but maybe at some point.
So that actually, to me, the most interesting thing isn't the fact that there is this maybe not rumor thing happening, but more like the reaction to the rumor from all the fans who just came out of hiding like, "Oh, what? What is this about this remake?" And they peek their head out, and then they make little comments like, "Oh, I wish this like this," or I hope that they won't do that. Reading all these comments from all the fans, to me, was the more interesting thing, and I hope Square Enix takes notice, because this is kind of like an intentional like survey that they had just sent out. Like, are you interested? And if so, what do you want to see? Right? I hope they do. I hope they take notice that yes, as a matter of fact, there is substantial interest in this. But if you are going to do it, here's what we kind of wish you would or wouldn't do. Like, some of the more prominent things I see is like, please do not make it episodic. Like, what? No, please. Please don't make major changes to the story.
Don't do a Final Fantasy 7
don't pull
remake,
FF7.
right?
Yeah. Please don't pull FF7. Not that I personally think the FF7 remake is bad. Like, I'm one of the maybe fewer people who actually don't mind it. But if you did it to Chrono Trigger, I think I would be pretty upset. Because one of the best thing about CT is how concise it is.
Yeah.
You break that up into episodic like nonsense, that ruins this whole like concise, tight storytelling. You completely ruin one of the pillars that makes it such a remarkable title. I mean, I have my own wish list. I hope that they can take some notes from Arc System when they do the animation, because Arc System had the pleasure of making the game called Fighter Z.
And that was incredible. incredible.
And it was incredible, right? And in one of the interviews with Arc System, they were talking about like the difficulty of animating Dragon Ball.
Well, yeah. You know, because Dragon Ball doesn't actually have an art style that is based on like Euclidean physics. Like,
exactly.
It's like how, you know, Mickey Mouse, for instance, has like the two balls on his head. No matter which direction he's facing, they're always at like, you know, 10 o'clock and 3 o'clock or whatever, you know, and that's just part of the style. Same goes for like Dragon Ball characters. Like, it's the weirdest thing. Like, they look good on paper, but when you try to translate that into like, I mean, if you've ever looked at an action figure of Dragon Ball Z and you're like, something's not quite right.
Right?
That's why. That's very much why.
So they were talking about the difficulty, and then the funniest thing that came up, and I think this may come up for if they ever do a Chrono Trigger remake, which is this is what they said. They say, here's what Dragon Ball animation looks like. Here's what you think it looked like based on your recollection, and here's what we made. Right. For all the people who say like, and I quote them for saying that, oh, well, good job making this game looks very authentic to the animation. It's not. We made it authentic to what you thought, how you remembered it.
Yeah.
Which is not the same as what it actually looked like.
That's exactly the point I talk about when I tell people about like, this is why no game will ever live up to Chrono Trigger. Whenever I talk about like, oh, Sea of Stars, you know, a lot of people were really disappointed. It's like, well, nothing Sea of Stars could have done could have made you think like, oh yeah, this is just as good as Chrono Trigger. Not because it's any worse than Chrono Trigger. I mean, that's obviously up for debate,
very
right?
Subjective, yeah.
Exactly. It's very subjective. But the fact of the matter is, you're not comparing it to Chrono Trigger as it exists. You're going to be comparing it to Chrono Trigger as you remember playing it when you were 10. Like, and that is a hell of a gap to fill.
It's so I hope that they take a page from Arc System if they ever do take on this endeavor. Just please think about what other people have done that's very successful, and maybe see if you can emulate it somehow.
I'm curious what our viewers would want out of a Chrono Trigger remake.
Yeah,
like,
that was
because
you know what, you just read my mind. That was what I was about to ask Nick, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, because like I know that there's so many different directions. I know a lot of people would just be happy with a HD 2D Chrono Trigger. Don't change anything else. Just do that, and you're golden. And part of me is like, yeah, I think that'd be all right. I think some people want to see like a AAA version of Chrono Trigger. Because back in the day, Chrono Trigger itself was a AAA style title. It was, you know, took millions and millions of dollars to produce. Several people, a huge team at the time, all experts, you know, and that's one of the other things that a lot of people don't seem to remember or realize is that like when you compare modern indies that have the shoestring budget, like they can make a game look as good as Chrono Trigger, but we're still talking about like back in Chrono Trigger when it was being made, they were paying writers like big budgets for the time.
Adjusted to inflation, it's way more expensive to make a Chrono Trigger than any of these indies. Not even close. But
also, that's one of the things, though, is that writing is not something that depreciates over time. Like that's something that like it hasn't evolved over time. Like you're still like a professional writer in 1990. You know, writing a scenario for Chrono Trigger is going to cost, you know, adjusted for inflation, a whole heck of a lot. Like that, like the writing of a game does not decrease because it is an indie, if that makes sense. Like you're paying for talent, and I think that that's something that like technology has helped us fill a gap in terms of making an indie RPG, right? Like you can make an incredible game for a a lot less money these days. Incredible looking 16-bit style game.
Yeah.
But like
Technology
a lot of the
has improved in that regard.
but in a lot of other ways, like writing is a barrier for a lot of people.
I feel like writing has gotten harder.
Yeah, that too. Because everything's kind of already been done.
Yeah.
Nothing new under the sun. Yeah.
Well, it's like if I released Shakespeare in Shakespeare time, then it's Shakespeare.
Yeah.
If I release Shakespeare 50, 100 years after Shakespeare, it's not Shakespeare, and it's not good enough.
Right.
Because Shakespeare already did it. So it's like that, right? So you have to sort of like up the ante, up the game, right?
Yeah.
And
like, how much do you think George R.R. Martin was paid for his collaboration on Elden Ring? Like, I don't know. I don't know. But I bet it wasn't a insubstantial amount of money. And
not an insubstantial amount of money. Yeah.
And I think it would cost quite a bit to have Brandon Sanderson get on board, like writing a new JRPG. Like, that would be sick. That would be really sick. But
that's that part of me that wish people won't keep comparing games to Chrono Trigger. It's not that's not as bad that you have a benchmark, I mean, we all have benchmarks. I subconsciously compare, but then I have to sort of take it back and say, yeah, but that was Chrono Trigger.
Yeah.
And this is not. So judge it for what it is, right? And what.
So, anyways, that's a hard. Sorry for the digression there, but it's hard to talk about like what would I want out of a Chrono Trigger, without thinking about the complexities of like how could it translate to a modern day RPG experience. Like if we wanted to take it AAA, like you'd have to. I mean, it's a 25-hour RPG on the Super Nintendo. Would anybody buy a AAA RPG for the PlayStation 5 for $80-$90 that only lasts $25 or 25 hours? I don't think so. I feel like they almost would feel obligated to pad it out with all the crap that would make it definitively not a Chrono Trigger game anymore. It would feel a lot more bloated and
I kind of would look at the opposite approach, because if you look at say Trials of Mana, right?
Yeah.
Why it was so successful is people praise all the things they kept.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the authenticity. And yes, the changes are fine, but that's usually where the issue comes from, to be honest. And same with like Romancing Saga. They're like, yeah, that's another like successful remake that is very different from the original, and people praise it all the same. It's like, yeah, I like that you kept all like the good stuff. But the difference between Romancing Saga 2 and Chrono Trigger is Romancing Saga 2 wasn't a very well received game, as in there were a lot of issues with it, like the original. So they went and made changes. I almost feel like Chrono Trigger had a lot of things already figured out, and you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Like you could just push the game out as is with updated graphics, either in the HD 2D sense, or you want to go 3D, which it will be a little harder, but you can do it because we've seen them do similar things. Again, like Romancing Saga 2 and Trials of Mana, you can pretty faithfully translate 2D into pretty good looking 3D that doesn't have to go to, Final Fantasy VII territory, because I think that's overdoing it. Especially true for like the Dragon Ball sort of style.
Akira Toriyama.
Yeah, like the Toriyama style. Like I don't think the Toriyama style is calling for hyper photorealistic like models.
I will not be satisfied until I see until I see the pores on Chrono's nose.
Oh no! That's just thinking about it, man. It's gross. Please don't do it. With that hair too, like just hyper photorealistic. Just
I want to see the individual follicles when I zoom in in photo mode.
No. A lot of the
Okay.
charm from like the 2D era too is like those eyes popping and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
too. Like the they
cartoonish
needed more
expressions.
cartoony. Yeah, they need a little more cartoony style, even if they do 3D. I feel
That is
otherwise
something
they're gonna
that-
lose all that.
That is something that is really difficult to properly do with like
Mhm.
polygon models, is to get that
I think Trials of Mana did that pretty well.
I
Like,
think you're
'cause
right.
The original Trial of Mana also had a lot of these because it's from that same era, same graphics. They did it pretty well, I think. Not, they did it in their own way, and I thought it was pretty. It was pretty good. Yeah,
Maybe
but please
they
tell
won't
us,
make
like-
it in 3D because Marl smacks her ass, and that would just be too far for this, very
They just need to censor it.
Yep, exactly. Gotta
Yeah.
blur it.
Guys, tell us in the comments, please, what you would want to see in a Chrono Trigger remake, if it ever happens. Just give us your wish list. We
Yeah.
want to know.
All right.
All
So
right.
moving along.
Yes.
Yeah. So from the team responsible for Danganronpa, 2Kyo Games' newest title is called I don't know, where is it? Okay.
100
hang on.
line.
Okay. Anyways,
Last Defense Academy.
yeah, Last Defense Academy. The 100 line, the Last Defense Academy. It appears to be pretty darn successful, but the company is unfortunately still in some crippling debt. So
Yeah.
when asked if the game would be ported to other platforms and add additional foreign language support, one of the founders of 2Kyo Games, Katsukata Kadoka, hang on, did I say- Katsutaka, sorry, Kadoka,
Kazutaka, yeah.
yeah, responded that on Twitter saying, "If I can pay off my debt early and secure enough operating funds for the company, I'd love to get started right away. But right now, we're still on the brink of going under."
Yeah, which is something that as a regular gamer probably don't really think about or think of. Because when you see a company releasing a pretty successful game, you think, yeah, they're probably doing pretty well, financially speaking. I mean, because if you sell a lot, it means you have a lot of money, which is ignoring the fact that other parties probably take cuts, and also that there is such a thing called operating capital, which is to say that even if I made a sell on a thing, if you don't have that money in your bank, but you're still paying out to staff, then you can still be in debt. And that debt has interest incurred and so on and so forth. It's a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eh, it's a difficult world out there, and it sucks to hear that even though the game sold really well, that it's still, I mean, gosh, that's, I don't even know what to say about
I've
that.
actually seen the game in action. A friend of mine was playing that, and listen, if you're a Danganronpa fan and you like RPGs, I don't think you should miss out on this one. This one is very much like Danganronpa coded. Like,
Nice.
yeah, it's just like it's if I had called that, if I called this game Danganronpa Danganronpa Tactics, you'd
Oh.
believe me.
Yeah.
You'd believe me if I
Okay.
called it that. Yeah.
yeah.
And yeah, it has a lot of the same humor. It has a lot of different characters, different twisted scenarios that made the series very popular. Let's just leave it at that. And a lot of new innovation too. So it's not like just like playing by their own shtick, but like they have their strength and they know what it is and they are playing by that. But they also added like a lot of new things that make this game very interesting. So much so that Yokotaro actually like heavily praised this game, which is pretty cool
I love to see that.
see. Yeah. But they are still in the brink of going under, according to one of the founders of the company. And you know what? That is who was it who we were interviewing, who was talking about just like the risk of bringing games to market? Was it who was
During
it?
an interview or before
During
an
our
interview?
Yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't James. Was it before James or after James?
Was it one of the Tylers?
Was it no, no, it was was it one of the Tylers? I think it was Chinsey, actually.
It might have been Chintzy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Preston.
Well, we're talking about like actually putting money into these things, and
that was one of his focuses. Yeah, because he's kind of self-funded this entire thing for My Familiar. So I think he feels that very directly.
These things cost money to make, man. Like your staff needs a paycheck, even if the owner doesn't. Small businesses, man, like small studios. We're not talking about like a Square Enix or a that has sufficient funds from stocks or whatever. Like we're talking about like a small indie studio that
that probably is running on venture capital.
Potentially.
Yeah.
And they are running significant risk, and if they want to make a great game, then they can't spare expenses. But if they don't spare expenses, they run a more risky gambit, because even if they pay more money, that doesn't necessarily translate to more sales. It could be one of those cult classic where it's like, oh yeah, this is a great game and such, for a small amount.
It could also be one of those situations where like they thought that they had this amount of time to do something, but then they had to delay the game because of unforeseen circumstances that meant keep more people on the payroll longer, and then they've outrun their what do you call that? Well,
issues,
you know what
issues with project management. This is why I exist, because I am those people who try
issues with project management in RPGs. Never.
So in the game industry, I would be a producer. Like I would, my role would be like a producer. They don't necessarily call us like PMs. Like, well, I'll be a producer. Like, I keep things in budget and on schedule. That's a producer job. So that there you go. Like that's in case you guys ever wonder what a producer does. Like that's what a producer does. So I think it's interesting to. Oh, also another company I was going to talk about, Vanillaware. Vanillaware is like infamous for constantly going in and out of big debt, and like every time they release a game, they're like, yeah, this might be the last game we make because this is not like a profitable venture. We just like making really beautiful games that are way over budget, but once you get it in your hand, you're like, man, this is an artwork. Like all the games I've ever made are gorgeous. 13 Sentinel is beautiful. Unicorn Overlord, absolutely gorgeous game. That plays really well. But guess what? There's money involved. Hiring great top of the line writers, top of the line artists, okay, making all kinds of crazy UIs, and just that thing is a playable art piece, is how I explain to people about like Vanillaware games. And those things cost money, man. So I just think it's a crazy things to hear 2Kyo still saying that they're still in debt. So moving on to the next topic, and the last industry topic that we're going to discuss, and this is going to be a fun one.
I don't get to talk about this too much because it's
speaking
mostly
of successful indies, right?
Yeah. Speaking of selling a lot of copies, Clair Obscur is just absolutely nailed it, guys. 1 million copies sold in just the first couple days. They say that that Oblivion's almost simultaneous release didn't actually affect their sales at all, or in fact might have helped it, because they say that it helped draw eyes to exceptional RPGs in the space. And you love to hear stuff like that. And I didn't get to play it really because I had the audio issue with the voice acting. So I'm on the outside looking in. But you know who did get to play it?
Who?
Oh, just some nerd I know.
How dare you? Yes, I have had the pleasure of playing it. Thank you to Star Forest Studio for sponsoring both Derek and myself. Even though Derek had trouble playing the game, I fortunately did not have trouble playing the game. And I've got to say that it is a crazy game. But before I go into that, I do want to read another statistics to you guys, because the million copies sold was from Star 4 Interactive, like Twitter. Like they claimed the million copies sold in exactly 2 days. Like it was like sell one day, second day they made the Twitter say, hey, we sold 1 million copies. 2 days.
That's wild.
Here's another statistics that I want to read to you guys that I think if that didn't tell you how crazy it is, the Steam version of the game, okay, just the Steam version, got 121,000 simultaneous player over that same weekend, which is the highest simultaneous players on any JRPG ever on Steam.
Wow. Holy cow.
Okay. The previous record holder was Metaphor.
I could see that. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's one of 6 games to ever had broken the 100K simultaneous player ever.
Dude.
So if that does not explain anything at all. Yeah, and to Nautica's point, like a huge draw is the fact that it's like $50 MSRP. So it's like $49.99 on Steam, which is a steal for this game.
Dude, you can get Clair Obscur and Oblivion for $100.
Yeah.
Like, wow. But okay, sorry. So I don't mean to keep talking about Oblivion, but I have played that, but not Obscure. So anyways, let's go. Go ahead. Proceed.
No, it's fine. We did want to sneak in Oblivion somehow, and we just don't. I don't know enough to really contribute, and then you haven't played a game, so there's that problem. But we snuck it in there. We got it. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the game and what that may mean. I mean, let's just remind folks that this is a game that was done with 30 people on staff. Did you know that?
I think I heard something about that, but I didn't actually look into that.
Oh, that's someone told me anyways. Someone pretty reliable told me that it's like more or less 30 people on staff.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah, turn-based is dead, guys. Okay, turn-based, not just turn-based. Turn-based single player experience is dead. Quote me, okay? Quote me. Oh no, all these clips are gonna come out of me saying no context.
That's okay. We're in a post-truth society. It doesn't matter anymore. It's
no,
deep
but
fake. It's fine.
Yeah, whoever said that, like any executive who had said that in any board meetings need to just like eat the words, man. Like, look, I know that there is like the Hoyoverse of the things out there, but there's also the like Expedition 33 of the world out there. Like they can simultaneously be successful, and it doesn't have to be one or the other. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's not like the fact that Expedition 33 comes out and somehow all the things on like, I don't know, Genshin Impact is not a thing. Like, no, it absolutely is still a thing. They're still making money.
Oh yeah.
But
it's just that there can be more than one thing at a time.
Right.
Like,
right. 30 people, former Ubisoft devs. There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Nauticus. Yeah, and it's just but they have outsourcing personnel, which is fair. But it's still a relatively small team for the kind of level of game that they had put out. Like I would expect double the people for the level of quality and polish this game has.
I've seen credits that go on for hours, man. So like, I'm just saying, like the fact that this is as pretty as it is and as polished as it is, and to have such a relatively small team is
a relatively small team. Yeah, I don't want to say this is like the small team. Like we've talked to indie devs working with like 10 people, you know, and they make good games. But
like the Sea of Stars team, I think had maybe 30 people, if I'm not mistaken. Like that's, I mean, they are not the same, but it's still yeah,
apples and oranges in some ways. They're both fruits, but boy are they different. So let's get back to Expedition 33. I won't spoil this for anyone, okay? But I will just say this: the the prologue itself was more emotionally charged for me than some games in its entirety. I'll just leave it as that.
Wow.
I play certain games that didn't get me to feel as much as I did in just the prologue of Expedition 33. Which is for me to try to get Derek to play this game.
Yeah, I will. I'm sure that I will.
You have a copy. Starfall sent your copy.
Bro, I still can't get the audio. I'm trying to get the audio to work. I need to figure out why it is. You know what I think it might be? It's probably the dumbest thing. I think that my PS5 might be auto-detecting like a surround sound environment and trying to put audio through a center channel that doesn't exist. That's probably what it is after I've thought on it for like a few days. But I need to figure that out for sure because, man, it sucks not being able to play it right now. Because I know if I play it right now, I hear the audio duck. So like I can hear where I'm supposed to hear things. It's distracting that I can't. And yeah, I've tried the English and the French voice acting options. Neither of them were present. It's probably something stupid like that because nobody else is having the issue. I was looking for information like prior to launch, and obviously there was none, right? So I looked around after launch, and nobody else had that issue. So it's probably just a dumb thing, but whatever.
Man, we'll get you to figure that out. But boy, that this game is so I'm actually streaming the game now on Twitch. If you guys want to come by to hang out, I'm over on Twitch. We're actually playing this game. I put this game away for a little bit because it's my last week of doing school stuff. Like I officially turned in all my projects, all the stuff. I'm just sitting and waiting to graduate. But last week I was still writing like my last papers and finally turned them all in. So now I can finally go in, just relax and enjoy the game. I will say I have a lot of friends, like personal friends who aren't necessarily turn-based RPG fans themselves.
And they're friends?
Yes.
I jest.
Surprising, I know. But they're also really
I'm just saying I
enjoying
wouldn't
the
date
game.
my wife until we played Earthbound together. So,
Well, see, that's why they're friends, you see. Not my significant other.
That's true.
No one
That's a
has
good point.
passed that test yet, unfortunately.
See, I just don't have any other friends. That's how I do that.
You will play this game with me.
Real JRPG fans don't have friends because they play single player only games.
Oh, I'm also playing this game in French right now. So this is the first time that I'm playing a turn-based RPG where I have absolutely no idea what they're saying. At least in Japanese, I have like some idea what they're saying. Oh yeah, I pick up a word. French, no idea. But you know what? It's so fun hearing them curse in French and then just cursing along, even though I have no idea what they're saying. It's fun. It's a great experience. That's a lot of cursing, okay? But if you see the situation that they're being thrown into, I think
the only French
it's
curse I know, the only French curse I think I could recognize is like "sacre bleu" or whatever. My terrible. I hope
I'm
that's
not even gonna try. I don't speak French at all, but it's fun.
Me neither. But I'm gonna see if that's even a swear. I don't know.
Yeah. So that brings to the discussion, which is, what does this mean to like?
Oh yeah, it just says "holy blue." Okay.
Is that what it means?
Yeah.
Ugh. Why even? It has
I don't
something to do
know.
with soccer or something, or no?
No. Sacre, as in like sacred.
No,
bleu,
I-
as in the cheese.
Oh, I don't know. I thought the origin of this had something to do with soccer and soccer teams and such and such. No, I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, so you know what? There's a lot of implication from this, I think, because here's like, you know what? Not only is this game very successful, not only is this an indie game, but it is made by a team of French developers.
Yeah.
It's a French developer, which is not necessarily the first country that you think about when you think about a popular turn-based JRPG.
No,
You
it certainly
think
isn't.
Japan number one, you think US number two, and then nowhere else, right?
There are still going to be people dying on the hill though, that
not
JRPGs
a-
must be made in Japan by a staff of purely Japanese-only people, and yes, they do require a 23andMe result before admitting that anything is a JRPG.
You need at least 2 generations of Japanese heritage in order for it to count. Yes. Not only are you genetically Japanese, 2 previous generations, that's your parents and your grandparents, all have to reside, born and raised in Japan, or else it does not count. Single one.
Sorry, Baku. New York style pizza is not real pizza because it's not made in Italy. So just saying.
True. It's still good though. To all the haters out there. Also, I like pineapple on my pizza.
There is one pizza that I've had that actually has really it goes really well with the pineapple, and it's made here locally in Manhattan, Kansas. It's a pizza shuttle thing. It's called the Maui Wowie. It's a pizza that has
Wowie.
Yeah. It's got pineapple, a spicy barbecue sauce instead of like a pizza sauce.
We're losing
has jalapenos
fast.
And
as soon as we said we like pineapple,
jalapenos and Canadian bacon, aka just like ham
bacon.
slices. Yeah,
and
it's
Canadian bacon. It couldn't even be American. It's Canadian.
Well,
bacon.
They might have to switch to regular bacon after the tariffs hit.
Oh no. Yeah, we're getting people saying pineapple on pizza. How dare you? I'm sorry, man. Pineapple on pizza is fine. I don't know what the fuss is about. It's just, just like any other topping.
It's a textural issue. Like it's, I also don't typically like tomato on a pizza because it's hot and it's juicy and it's just like a weird textural mismatch in the mouth.
Can I tell you another thing that's weird about me? And maybe this is gonna get some hate, but an unpopular opinion, I hate orange chicken and lemon chicken.
All right, guys. Well, it was fun to have this episode with you. I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding.
Something about the citrus fruit and the fact that it's warm, I can't.
Yeah,
I think cold citrus
I get
fruit
that,
and not that warmth, just gross.
Yeah.
So I get it. I get why people don't like pineapple, but
I mean, yeah. So, but I will say that orange chicken just isn't good anyway because it's just pure sugar on chicken. It's like, come on. I mean,
anyways, but yeah. So French made game. I just feel like this kind of opened up the Pandora box. Well, no, maybe not Pandora box, but maybe whatever the opposite of the Pandora box is. If the Pandora box is the floodgate of which misfortune dispels, then this is sort of the opposite. I feel like this just opened the floodgate of possibilities for.
We've opened Pandora's sphere.
Yes,
it's a
Pandora's
different
happy cousin.
It's a different geometry.
Pandora. I want to see the next, say, Filipino RPG. I mean, we already see some games from the Philippines or from Indonesia. Remember we talked about
Space for the Unbound. Yeah,
Space for the Unbound. It's a beautiful game. Absolutely gorgeous. Great storytelling. Great gameplay. Overlooked because it's from Indonesia. No one knows anything about Indonesia, which ironically the game tried to teach people some things about Indonesia.
I learned a little bit.
Yeah. And I just feel like that basically opens it up. Hey, congratulations to Expedition 33. But not only does that happen, I don't think this is a fluke. I think this is just a thing that was just waiting to happen. It was going to happen. If it wasn't Expedition 33, it would have been a different game. It was just a matter of time. People have caught up. The US and Japan don't hold monopoly, despite what some may think, on making a successful JRPG. Any country, any developers anywhere can make a game with that same level of success and with that level of fanfare. So that really opens it up. I cannot wait to see what the world has to offer.
Man, I'm looking forward to seeing more like, and I'll still call them JRPGs because it is a style of RPG. Like, I feel like once it'll be even more important after this to recognize that it is a collection of genres, you know, rather than a country of origin thing, because the floodgates are opening. And we're gonna need a way to collectively refer to this group of games that we all know, enjoy, and love. So hopefully people will stop fighting us on this, because it's a phrase we have and it already exists and it works.
I want to tell you, and maybe we'll end the story with this, but the funniest post that someone shared with me on Twitter on this whole thing was someone posting something, and I'm sorry, I can't remember who wrote this, but I thought it was just absolutely hilarious. He said, about Expedition 33, I'm just so tired of people arguing whether or not this is a JRPG. We all know this is a JRPG. And I was like, oh, there you go, Derek. Derek likes it.
Oh, I nailed it.
All right, that concludes our industry news section for the night. If you guys enjoy our discussion on the industry and things of that nature, please be sure to give us a thumbs up and tell your friends about us, and come back and have these discussions with us. I'd like to see what you guys think, and also put in the comments on some things that's been bothering you, or some insights you might have. We'd love to be able to read that as well.
Definitely. I gotta dust off this button on my Stream Deck here. There we go.
You got it. Okay.
There we go.
We'll switch over to the last scene, and then.
Oh, are we? Yeah.
Yeah.
I switched us.
No. The window.
Oh, that's right. I need to show actually what you're talking about, huh? Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Let's do this. Where's this one? Here we go. But
is that big enough for you? Is that good?
Zoom in a bit more, because.
How about now?
I'd say 150% if you could.
No.
There you go. That's
okay.
A bit better.
All right. The last thing that we're going to talk about, which ironically we were just talking about the tariff. This is the they do say free shipping worldwide, so we'll see. The UK's Pinbox, which if you guys are a Trails fan, you probably know this company already. Pinbox has been making lots of like enamel pins for the series, and they've just been they just licensed the right to create this thing called the Bracer Supply Box for 199 pounds, which translates to like about $270 US, which is pretty hefty. Free. The pre-order will open until May 29th, and there will be no reprints. And given that it's Pinbox, I do believe them, because they are pretty good about that, unlike a certain other company. This is obviously very pricey, and I know it is very pricey. I'm looking at the price like, ooh, almost $300. Yikes. Like, hey, dang, that is expensive. But there are always some big Trails fans out there with deeper pockets than myself who just looks at that and like, yeah, give me 10. So what does it actually come with? An Ortman replica, which I think is super cool.
My gosh.
Look at this.
I'm pulling it up on my computer so I can show it even bigger. Oh my God.
A replica of the Ortman.
Guys,
it also comes with a set of magnetic quartz, full-size replica of Estelle's bag, which you can see down here. This is Estelle's bag, and you can just run around like, I'm Estelle. Hard enamel pins, of course there is, because this is Pinbox. Of course you get pins. The staff actually
got a bracer badge. Oh no. Oh,
dude, the staff spins, which is really fun. You can like click the badge, and the staff, and it spins in her hand.
Oh my God, really?
There's a Canva map somewhere.
Canvas map in the center. I'm looking at that.
And then there is the 3D diorama standee, which looks really good, of the like key art for Trails in the Sky First, the remake, and also like a set of 8 art prints, some decorative box, some more keychains that I didn't even know. This is agate's sword.
Agate, yeah.
Agate.
Uh-huh. It's like the jewel or gem or whatever.
Yeah. So yeah, and also these so you can actually swap in and out the quartz in the Ortman. So they have additional ones that you can swap them in.
Oh my god, and they're magnetic.
So cool. And they're
magnetic slots for the quartz. Oh my god.
Cool looking art prints. Yeah. So there you go. Just no big deal. Oh, and also it comes with the Brazers notebook.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
Lots of little memorabilia that people love. It's only
I need it.
$270, but it's free shipping. So you don't have to worry about shipping. Shipping is tagged on.
So what happens if I order this now? When do they ship? Like what's the time? Fall? Oh my god.
I mean, it's pin box. Like it's not like a run by. Like they have made a lot of. They made a lot of. What
I think you're misunderstanding, bud. My problem is not that it's so far away or that I don't trust them. It's just that I don't know what the tariff is going to be when they ship. And if I'm going to...
I don't know how to help you, sir. I don't know how to help you. That's fully beyond...
It just struck home that I need this. I do need
Joshua's, it. There's also Joshua's knife is also... Joshua's knife is also... There's a keychain.
Yeah, the keychain there.
Knife. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I saw them both.
There's like 2 keychains.
So nice.
And a bunch of things. 2 keychains.
I'll tell you, if I can get this for under $300, oh god, it's tough. But I do want it. But like if it was like 400 or 500, like hell no. But I want it.
If they can slap the game in, like this would be the crazy limited edition set that
I wanted. Yeah.
This is the set that just beats all other limited editions. Like right here.
Luckily this is I don't know. I was gonna say this would be coming from the UK, but I doubt it's all being made in the UK, huh?
Yeah, I don't. See, that's the thing. I don't know how much of that is made in UK and how much of it is made elsewhere, right? It doesn't have to be. Here's the thing. It doesn't have to be made in China. It could be made in Vietnam or made in some other Southeast Asian country with like lower, fees or what have you. That's the other thing that I forgot to mention. I had it in my head. Which is in the future, we may very well just have things that are just like made out not in China, but still not in the US. Like this whole tariff war thing has just benefited like literally any other country other than the 2 involved. We'll still buy stuff. It just won't be made
not every other country.
The US.
I happen to know a island of penguins that has been very heavily hit.
Oh, they're getting hit hard. Oh my god, those penguins are dying. Dude, because of the tariffs, man. They are
also because of climate change, but mostly the tariffs.
Mostly the tariff. The tariff is the tariff's gonna do those poor penguins in.
Yeah, god dang it, and I'm dying now too because I can't get myself that orbital replicate because I don't know what to even do with myself.
It doesn't look good though.
It does
look good.
It does. So let's shift gears. Whoa, hang on. Whoa, no, that's the wrong button. Let's shift gears now to talking about super chats that we've gotten here because we did get a couple.
Hey,
yeah. So let's start here with Naticus here, who says just a friendly reminder because of the title, hype responsibly. Thank you so much
about
there, Naticus.
CT,
I agree. I mean, a lot of our dreams did come true here. We got a new great RPG that I have yet to play. That's one of them right there. Breath of Fire 4. that's out. They got a shadow drop. That's 2 things right there. That's 2 dreams. The third didn't end up being real. Not yet, anyways. But as the late and great Meatloaf once said, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Yeah.
I concur.
All right. Then we got another one here from Still Alive. Thank you so much for being here, Still Alive. It says, the end goal I hear is for all of those minimum wage factory jobs is just to just be replaced by AI and robots anyway, so that the people at the very top for the people at the very top, it's so what, talking about when you were talking about the end game, like of trying to, like, who's going to man the factories? Nobody. Who reaps in all the money? Yeah, probably the people who own those factories, right? Not the people who are having to pay for those tariffs on things. Anyways, it's all bad.
Yeah.
But hey, on the bright side, soon we get to figure out how much worse things can get.
Robots don't complain. They don't need vacations. They work 24 hours a day. And they will never sue you. You see?
Well, not until the robots get their own Bill of Rights. They
form their own unions.
Did you ever see the Animatrix?
No.
A lot of people didn't. But it's like after the original Matrix movie came out, there was like an animated prequel called The Animatrix.
That's a clever name.
it's actually kind of neat. Worth a watch. I think it was done before the prequels, I think, or the sequels rather. And all in all, it's probably a little bit more interesting than those sequels ended up being. Except for the third or the fourth one. Yeah. Yeah. The Matrix. What was the latest one? Where they got, post John Wick, Keanu.
I watched the first movie and then I just kind of like fell out.
I kind of really liked the new one, the newest one that came out. What is it still new or I don't even remember now. Matrix.
It's like define new, like within the last 20 years or
within like the last 5 years.
Within the last 5 years.
Yeah, they got
no idea.
Yeah, it was really good. I can't remember what it's called though. Anyways, guys, thank you for hanging out with us today. It has been a pleasure to stream for you all. If you enjoyed today's podcast episode, well, we would very much appreciate a like on that like there button, or subscribe on the subscribe there button. Turns out a lot of people just don't do either of those things, but it makes us feel good about ourselves. And if you're listening on one of the other podcasting platforms out there, Audible, Spotify, YouTube music, I think, does podcasts. If you just give us a review or something, that's always nice. We really appreciate it. So until next Sunday, when we will undoubtedly have another episode, because we do every Sunday at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. No, hang on. There's the button. Here it is.
No.
There you go.
No.
Bye.